Welcome to the DFS Sweatshop. I'm your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem, bringing to you the recap of last night's 7-game slate of NBA games. Of course, like we do in every show, we're going to go ahead and get started with my lineup to give you a look at what I played tonight. And then we're going to get into our much awaited, often imitated, but never duplicated three players that we want to talk about. We're going to talk about the Who Dat over there scoring all them points player of the night. We're going to talk about the Heat Check player of the night for the top player on our slate. And then we are going to get into that one motherfucker who we talk about every night. That one guy who destroys a great lineup, really has a horrible night out, and we're going to get pissed with him tonight. We're going to hate him tonight, but we're going to forget about it quickly, and we may need to roster him later on down the road. That is our snowflake of the night. Pretty interesting day in fantasy today. Football was going on, so we had a lot to digest, a lot to uncover. But let's go ahead and jump straight into my lineup tonight. This lineup did cash. We're gonna jump right into it now. We all know every day I send out my tweet, my core four. I give you a look at what I do, and this is not for you to say, oh, these are the four guys he likes. Those are the four guys I'm playing. That's not why I do that. The reason why I do that, why I give you that format, is so that you can develop your own core of players, and you won't be all over the place in your selection and putting in your lineup building, because we all know that if you too many different lineups will cancel themselves out. Now you can roll with my core four if you want to. You can roll with me, but I would like for you to develop your own and use that strategy, use that formula to go ahead and build that bankroll and make more money for yourself. All right, the first player we're going to talk about, of course, Kyle Lowry, who was definitely in my core four. Him and DeMar Rosen, I paired them together. Kyle Lowry had a really good game. I believe 44 DraftKings points solid. They were in and out of the game for most of it. We saw a really good game from Boogie, and also we got some good scoring here from Kyle Lowry. But DeMar DeRozan is the one who disappointed. I mean, maybe you call me crazy for thinking that he was going to continue this streak that he had been on recently, and it definitely came to an end tonight. He had 4 rebounds, 1 3-pointer made, 3 assists, a turnover, and 23 points. Not a bad scoring output, but for a player that's so scoring dependent, we really needed him to have one of those DeMar DeRozan games that he's been having all season long to really justify that 8K salary. He had 32.5 DraftKings points. Brandon Ingram was somebody who I didn't think the ownership was going to be very high on him. He was a value play for me. He did have a fairly decent game, 18.75 DraftKings points. Did kind of return that 5 times value we were looking for. Julius Randle was somebody who we had here. Now, this particular game, this particular lineup, I had Jokic in some, and I had Nurkic in the other one, because I did have a few lineups like this, and Jokic, he had a pretty decent game. He had 21 points, 21.75 DraftKings points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 9 points, and a turnover. Isaiah Thomas had a really great game. He was definitely a part of our core four. He and Avery Bradley. And another value play that I really liked, that I thought was going to be go low, very low owned, was Kenneth Faried. Now, he came off of the bench. This game was over for a very long time, and he got an extended run, getting that scrub love that we like so much. And he had 11 points, an assist, 1 block, 1 steal, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and he did make the double-double bonus and finished with 31.75 DraftKings points. We had 39.25 for Isaiah, and Avery Bradley had 40. Avery Bradley is on a tear, man. He's playing out of his mind. And this lineup finished with 260.5 DraftKings points. Now, I'm just going to show you real quick the other lineup that I had. That was probably my best lineup tonight. No, not probably, without a doubt it was. On a short slate like this, I think stacking offenses is really, a good way to go. And I chose to stack the late game simply because there weren't a lot of games on the slate. This was the highest point total. Um, I was definitely on the right track, but I missed some key plays. One of them we're going to talk about in a few seconds. But this one was just a simple stack. I used DeMarcus Cousins because I really liked him in the spot that he was in coming off of that bad game last night. You know, he was last night's snowflake. He had 55 DraftKings points. Really good game from him. Of course, we talked about Brandon Ingram. D'Angelo Russell kind of disappointed a little bit. We had Alex Len, who ended up having a really good game. Julius Randle almost made value. TJ Warren was his usual self, balling out of control. Devin Booker had a really great game, 53.25 DraftKings points. And Eric Bledsoe finished with 26 points. And this lineup was 272.25 DraftKings points. I had it entered. I played very light today because I was kind of invested in some NFL stuff, and you know it was Sunday, so I didn't go really heavy because it wasn't. I really didn't like the slate, the overall slate. I really didn't like the overall slate to go in as much, probably because one of the games we didn't even have on the slate. The early game, Utah and the Knicks game, we didn't have on the slate, and I did like some guys in that game. I had it entered one time in the sharpshooter, and I finished 10,000th out of 62,000, and I had it in the dollar game, the and one, and I finished 2,500 out of 14,000 twice. I had that lineup entered twice. Well, let's go ahead and jump into a quick recap of the day's games. We're going to start in New York, where my Knicks were allowing the Utah Jazz to come in, and man, Gordon Hayward, back from the finger injury, had a really great game. 28 points, 5 rebounds for Gordon Hayward in 35 minutes. We also saw George Hill catch wreck, have a really good game. 23 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals. Rodney Hood filled the stat sheet up with 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists with a steal as well. We had a really good game from Rudy Gobert. He had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steals, but the 3 blocks is what really got him to get that value, to reach that value point that we were talking about. On the Knicks side of the ball, Carmelo had a really great game. He finally started to rebound. He had 9 rebounds to go with 28 points and 3 assists. Joakim Noah, not a really great game for him, even though he did hit every statistical category. He had 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Derrick Rose, I think he's woken up. He had played a really good game. He had 10 points, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 steal. Courtney Lee chipped in 10 points and 6 rebounds with 3 steals. And off the bench, we really got nothing from the guys off of the bench. That's probably why the New York Knicks lost that game. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Portland Trailblazers going to the Grindhouse. Al-Farouq Aminu, man, 33 minutes, only 8 points and 4 rebounds with 2 assists and a steal. We had 37 from C.J. McCollum, an excellent game from him. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, again, to go with the 37 points. Dame Lillard, some told me that Dame was going to be a really great play in the Grindhouse. Tony Allen is an excellent defender. Didn't really think I was going to get very much from Dame. So in 32 minutes, he had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal. We also got from Mason Plumlee, we've got 7 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. The next game we're going to get into, oh, and actually I should tell you, Mo Harkless, he woke up a little bit and had 18 points and 7 boards. Okay, the next game we're going to get into, and this was a part of the main DraftKings slate, is the Sacramento Kings taking on the Toronto Raptors. We saw a really good game from Rudy Gay again, 23 points and to go at 5 rebounds, and assists, and a steal. DeMarcus Cousins had 22, 14, and 4 assists with 1 steal and 3 blocks. So he quickly got out of the doghouse that we put him in last night. And Costa Koufos, man, started in 25 minutes. He had 13 points and 6 rebounds. Aaron Aflalo had a really decent game for his price point, 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. And we saw Ty Lawson dish out 11 dimes, but only had 5 points and 2 rebounds. Matt Barnes, 8 points and 10 rebounds with 1 assist and 1 steal. On the Toronto side of the ball, we already talked about him. Man, he had a really great game. Kyle Lowry went out, had 15 points and 10 assists to go with 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Not a great game from DeRozan, but he just scored 23 points. We talked about that. And the Pascal Siakam, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist, and that was in 23 minutes for him. So the rookie is getting more minutes in the starting rotation. So we want to keep an eye out for that. Uh, Damari Carroll is still his same self, 4 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. So we really don't see ourselves rostering him uh, going forward. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks going to the Dallas Mavericks. This was such a low-scoring, horrible game. We saw Giannis Antetokounmpo catch 3 early fouls in the second half and really this is a guy that's going to get 33, 35 minutes. He had 26 minutes in this game, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. We saw Jabari Parker, who I definitely highlighted as a player to watch today. He had 16 and 7 rebounds with 1 assist. Now, the one beneficiary of Giannis not being in the game was Greg Monroe. He ended up getting 28 minutes and had 14 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 steals. Now, this is a guy who they paid a lot of money to bring over. They paid a lot of money to bring this guy over. I really think he should be a part of the starting rotation, but Jason Kidd is an idiot, and he's going to continue to mess the team up any way he can. We saw Michael Beasley jump off the bench and get 7 points and 3 rebounds in 10 minutes with a steal. And Tony Snell came back down to earth, had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And on the Dallas side of the ball, we had a really good offensive explosion from Harrison Barnes. Man, he had 34 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals in 48 minutes. Of course, this game did go into overtime. He played damn near the whole game. J.J. Barea chipped in with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists with 1 steal. Justin Anderson only played 10 minutes, had 4 points and 2 rebounds. Wesley Matthews, 9 points in 43 minutes, 1 rebound, and 1 assist to go with 3 steals. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Denver Nuggets going to Boston and laying a smackdown on the Celtics in their house. Wow. Didn't see that coming. This is where the heat check player of the night comes from, this game right here, and it was Emmanuel Mudiay. Now, the first quarter, the dude had 24 points. I don't know how he didn't end up with 50 because it seemed like he was around the cup the entire night. Mudiay had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, and that is why he is tonight's heat check player of the night. Danilo Gallinari had 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists to go with the block. Gary Harris got more than the 12 minutes that we thought he was going to get. Ended up playing 21 minutes, had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. And Wilson Chandler jumped off of the bench in 25 minutes and had 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. We talked about Kenneth Faried and that valuable scrub love time. He got 12 points, 11 rebounds, and assists, a block, and a steal. So he definitely filled up the stat sheet there. On the Boston side, this is where our snowflake ass mother. This where that one motherfucker ruined my Boston stat. I had Avery Bradley, Isaiah Thomas, Channing Crowder was out. So you would think that this guy would step in and pick up some of the scoring load, the defensive load, but he ends up being tonight's snowflake of the night, and it is no other than Jaylen Brown. In 20 minutes, he had 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists with 1 block, and he is tonight's snowflake of the night. If you ruined your lineup, comment, let us know what's happening. Okay, we had Isaiah Thomas with 30 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Marcus Smart came off the bench for the snowflake and had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in 27 minutes. Avery Bradley had an excellent game. This dude is balling out of control right now. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 block for him. Tyler Zeller got into the action a little bit, had 25 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. We didn't see much from Amir Johnson tonight. Only had 4 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists in 15 minutes. And we got pretty much nothing else off of the bench except for Marcus Smart. And that was that 27 minutes that he got. The next game is going to be where our who dat scoring all them points, shooting all them threes, Swaggy P. Oh, Swaggy P had a hell of a game, man. I mean, he could not miss, bro. Swaggy P went nuts in this game. I'm talking about Nick Young. He is tonight's heat check player of the night. He scored 35. He had 35 minutes, scored 22 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. And yeah, it wasn't the most high scoring performance of the night, but at 3.8K, being 2% owned on a 6 game slate, to get that type of production at that price with that ownership, that is scoring under pressure. That's what makes him tonight's heat check player of the night. Luol Deng saw 20 minutes and had 7 points and 7 rebounds. Julius Randle, 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Not a really great game from D'Angelo Russell. He had 11, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal. Mozgov was a really, really good play tonight, too. He had 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists on the Phoenix side of the ball. TJ Warren had a really great game in 38 minutes, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. We saw Devin Booker, another offensive explosion. We've got to pay attention to Devin Booker. He is a thing. Actually, this Phoenix offense is a thing. These guys can score. If they can't do nothing else, they can score. Devin Booker in 45 minutes had 39 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. Really great game from Devin Booker. Eric Bledsoe got started kind of slow, but he ended up finishing pretty good in the second half. In 29 minutes, he had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. And Alex Len, while he did not provide that scoring punch that he usually does to make up for not rebounding well, he actually had 11 boards and 5 points to go with a steal and a block. And Tyson Chandler pulled down 12 boards and fell just 1 bucket shy of the double-double bonus. He had 9 points and 3 steals. That was the late night hammer game. If you had those guys, some of those guys in your lineups, I'm sure you cashed. I'm sure you did well. But let's go ahead and break into tomorrow's. We've got a really nice 7 game slate on deck, and these are good. The 7 game slates are good. It's not the overkill of a 10 game slate where it's hard to gauge who you want to start your core with, but it's not that small 4 game slate to where you're kind of forced into just playing and picking from a shallow pool of players. So let's go ahead. We're going to pull up the DraftKings pricing just to see where we are with everyone. So we're going to create this new lineup. And we do this just so we can get a quick gauge, maybe a quick skim of what we got. And I believe in 7 games, the stars are going to be out tonight. Let's check them out. When you see this, you're going to be like, oh shit, the stars are out. All right. Of course, starting off, we're going to have Russell Westbrook. Starting off, we're going to have Russell Westbrook, and he is at 12 point. Let's give you a better angle view here. Yeah. We've got Russell Westbrook starting off at 12.2K. That price is very high against a slow-paced Miami team. They're going to be in Oklahoma City. So we like the roster point guards at home, but we really do think that on this slate, Russell Westbrook is going to be a little too rich for our blood. So we've got James Harden in a plus matchup against the Washington Wizards at Washington. His price is 11.7. We got Anthony Davis on the slate against the Golden State Warriors, 11.1. Kevin Durant, 9.9. John Wall, it says he's out, but I think he just rested that 1 game. He's going to be back tomorrow night. We really like him against James Harden defense, which is no defense at all. We've got Stephen Curry at 8.7. Hassan Whiteside is coming in at 8.6. We like him against Oklahoma City. And we've got Chris Paul at home against Detroit for 8.5K. And Andre Drummond, of course, is going to be in that game as well. He's 8.1K. Now, something that when we roster point guards, let's just talk about basic lineup construction. When we construct these lineups, we want to get the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands most of the time he's on the court. That's why we like point guards, and that's why we like point forwards. We like guys who are distributors as well as scorers, so they can score in different ways. Now, I'm going to definitely be rostering 3 point guards tomorrow for tomorrow's slate. We've got a few cats that are at home, especially point guards just play better at home. the comfort of your own stadium, your own gym is big as far as it goes for the point guards, especially on this slate because we're gonna look at them. All right, we got Blake Griffin at 8K solid. Paul George is gonna be at 7.9 going to Charlotte. Kemba Walker, Kemba's at home, and you know there's certain rules that I have when it comes to NBA DFS. If Kemba is home, I am starting him. I love Kemba at home. It pretty much doesn't matter the matchup. If San Antonio go to Charlotte, I still like Kemba at home. He does. He's got chicks. He's got chicks at home. There's got to be something. There's got to be something. He always balls out at the crib. Miles Turner, who I like. I actually like him in Charlotte. We got Rudy Gobert at 6.9K, DeAndre Jordan, Gordon Hayward, who is now healthy, Tim Frazier, and point guards can get off against Golden State. Nicholas Batum is here. George Hill for 6.5K. That price is slowly creeping up. Tobias Harris, 6.3. Klay Thompson going to be 6.2 in Golden State at home. We've got Rajon Rondo going up against Elfrid Payton, and this team is number one against point guards. Rajon Rondo already can't shoot. We like Elfrid Payton in this game. We just do. And he's right under him at 6.1. Dwayne Wade is 6K. Jeff Teague, 6K. Evan Fournier, 5.9. Oladipo. We like Oladipo actually in this game going to Miami. Markieff Morris, Taj Gibson going to be 5.7. Joel Embiid is somebody to look out for. They're playing against the Utah Jazz, but this guy has such tremendous upside that I'm going to have him somewhere in a couple of my lineups because I'm probably going to make quite a few. I'm going to have him somewhere in my lineup. I would hate for him to go off, for a big double-double at 5.7K and I don't have him. So I'm definitely going to be looking at Joel Embiid. Thaddeus Young owes me money. He is 5.6K. We've got Derek Favors looking for a bounce-back game in Philly. He is 5.6K. Eric Gordon, he owes me money. He is 5.4K. Monte Ellis right here. Otto Porter, 5.3. Sergio Rodriguez, the price is creeping up on him. We got KCP here in a matchup that I kind of like. If he's going to be seeing JJ Redick defense, I like him. Nikola Mirotic is probably going to be a good play tomorrow. Enes Kanter banging down low with Hassan Whiteside is probably not something I'm going to want at 4.9K. Terrence Jones coming off of that big game he had. Well, Dante Cunningham is not suspended anymore, so we need to find out exactly what's going on with that situation because Terrence Jones has such a great game. He may move into the starting rotation. We've got to be on the lookout for that. Jahlil Okafor is still at this low price point. He is 4.5K. That's something to definitely pay attention to. If you want to pivot from the Embiid guys, you can definitely look to start Jahlil Okafor. Dario Saric here. Frank Kaminsky at 4.3K. And Lance Stevenson has been released. Do not start him anywhere. He's done. He's been waived by the New Orleans Pelicans. And they picked up Archie Griffin. The Pelicans picked up Archie Griffin, so that's somebody you might want to be on the lookout for too going forward. I love CJ Miles tomorrow. He's at 4.1K. The price didn't go up too much on him. He's going to be in a plus matchup at Charlotte. Coming off of the bench, he's going to see a lot of the Charlotte second team because we know Rodney Stuckey is still out, so he's somebody to look out for. So let's go ahead and get into the point totals for tomorrow's 7-game slate. We're going to start with the Indiana Pacers going to Charlotte. It's a 208 point total. Automatic flag. 2.8. We like that. It's over 200. We like that a lot. Charlotte is -3 in this game, so they're giving Indiana 3 points. That is a very small point differential, and we like that. We like high totals, small point differentials. This means we may be able to roster more than 1 or 2 or 3 players from this game. I've already said I like Kemba. He is going to be in every lineup. He is definitely a part of my core 4. You can mark it down now. I usually don't tweet out my exact core 4 till midday sometime today, but I can tell you this, he's going to be in there. I love Kemba tomorrow at home going up against Jeff Teague. So we're going to look at him. We can also look to the Charlotte bench a little bit because we know that Jeremy Lamb is out. They're going to need a little more scoring off of the bench. And it may keep Nick Batum on the floor a little more, but he's going to be going against Paul George. And if you remember Paul George matching up with Jimmy Butler the other night, neither of them really had a great game. That's probably what I think the story is going to be for this game because we're going to have Paul George matching up against Nick Batum. So that kind of takes Paul George off of the table for me. Nick Batum is a really good defender, especially on the perimeter. And we know Paul George is a really good defender as well. So that they kind of cancel each other out for me. Now, I do like Cody Zeller in this game. I think his minutes are ramped up. He's at full go, so I do like him. Roy Hibbert is still going to be out of this game, so we're going to see a lot of Frank Kaminsky and maybe some Spencer Halls in this game. Neither of the two I think I'll be touching. I do like Cody Zeller, though, in this game. I do like Cody Zeller a lot. Uh, on the Indiana side, I like C.J. Miles, like I already stated. I think Miles Turner is going to be a pretty decent play in this game. Thaddeus Young maybe get some rebounds. So this is a 208 total. So that's a pretty nice total for that game. Next game we're going to get into is going to be the Utah Jazz going to Philadelphia. Now this is a 192.5 point total. But we've seen Philadelphia be a scrappy team. We've seen them take on some of the better teams in the league early in the season and compete at a really high level. Now, George Hill is going to be probably the focal point of where I would go in this game because he's going to see Sergio Rodriguez. That defense doesn't scare me at all. And I really think that having Gordon Hayward back in the lineup because he had been out for a week I think with a hand issue. Having him back in the lineup is really going to open up the perimeter. We're going to see a lot more assists on the perimeter because as soon as he can swing it to Gordon Hayward, he's going to knock down the shot. So I do like George Hill in this game. I like Gordon Hayward. This is one of the lowest point totals on the slate, actually the lowest point total on the slate. But Utah can score the ball. They can definitely score the ball. And I look for Philadelphia to try to break that slow grind that Utah's going to try to impose upon them and maybe push it a little bit. And that's going to lead to some turnovers, of course, block shots, rebounds, transition, getting out and running. So I do like, I don't like Gobert in this game. I don't like Gobert or Favors. If I was going to target somewhere on the Utah side, it would be along the perimeter. It would be Rodney Hood. It would be George Hill. And not so much even Gordon Hayward because, I mean, let's be real about it. Robert Covington is a fairly good defender. Not to say that Gordon Hayward can't get off in this game, but Robert Covington is a pretty good defender. Now, on the Philadelphia side of the ball, I'm definitely targeting their bigs. I think that Embiid is going to put it on Gobert. Gobert is just not he doesn't move very well. He's not a very, elastic, movable type guy. Like he does a lot of his stuff stationary. So I really think that the activity on the block is going to throw Gobert for a loop, and I would take my chances with Embiid or Okafor at that 4.5K price. That's very low to have somebody with that type of skill set talking about Jahlil Okafor. Dario Saric is also somebody that you can look at in this game, as well as Ersan Ilyasova to give you some of those three-pointers that you like. The next game is going to be, I believe it's the highest point total, or one of the highest point totals on the slate. It is the Houston Rockets going to Washington to take on the Wizards. Now, we're going to get into this again. This is a 216 over-under. 216 points Vegas say is going to be scored in this game, with Washington giving up 1.5 to the Houston Rockets. So, again, another small point total differential, another small differential, but with a high over/under. I really like this game. This game says stack all over it. Now, of course, I like John Wall because he's going to see James Harden defense, and we know that is no defense at all. I like James Harden because John Wall really doesn't play a lot of great defense. So I can roster both. I think I've already got like 3 of my core 4 players just from the Charlotte game and then from this game because I love James Harden and I love John Wall and I like Kemba at home. I love Kemba at home. So I think we can also go to we can also go to Gordon in this game, in this Houston game, because he had a really bad first half out the last time out, but he made up for it in the second half. And I think he's still developing that chemistry with the team. We can also go to Capella. We can go to Clint Capella in this game too. He's going to have his way He's young, energetic, athletic, and he's gonna have his way with Martin Gortat. Even though Gortat may be a pretty good play in this game too, I would definitely, if I was going to choose a big in this game, it would definitely be Clint Capella. Uh, I don't know if we're gonna see more of that Montrezl Harrell. I mean, foul trouble; those guys are in, but I don't think Gortat is as active enough on the block, to really force foul trouble on the Houston Rockets. So I think it'll be safe that you can roster the Houston starter at center and get their full allotment of minutes from him. The next game we're gonna go to is gonna be the Orlando Magic going to Chicago, taking on the Bulls. This is a 203 total with Orlando getting 7 points. So Chicago is the favorite in this game. I've already stated I do not like Rajon Rondo in this game. I think Jimmy Butler is going to be a fine play. I also like Dwayne Wade in this game. He's going to match up really well with Evan Fournier. So that means I don't like Evan Fournier, but I do like Elfrid Payton on the perimeter from the Orlando side. I think Vucevic is also going to be in play because he's so much better than Robin Lopez. I think you can fire up Vucevic and Elfrid Payton and be fine in this game right here. Robin Lopez, again, I do not like him. We already know who's going to be controlling the boards for the Chicago side. You're going to see a ton of Taj Gibson. He's probably going to have 15 rebounds in this game, but he's not going to score a lot of points. So you can take that rebounding for what it is. He's not really a great scorer. Now, off of the bench in this game, it's not too much to like. Not too much to like. Carter Williams is still out. So the first guy off of the bench for Chicago, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I would take my chances. If I had to roster somebody from the Chicago side, it would be Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Taj Gibson. Next game we're going to get into is going to be the Miami Heat going to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. This is a 203.5 total with Oklahoma City giving up 5.5 points. Hassan Whiteside is one of those guys, and he's matchup proof because he plays just as hard on both sides of the ball. So he can very well go out and score 20 points and grab 20 boards at any given time. He is somebody that I definitely like, and I'm going to have some exposure to him. Maybe not as high as I would on a usual night because Oklahoma City does have a steady stream of bigs that can go in there and kind of bang with him a little bit. And Sam Adams is just one of those, tough, hard-nosed players that's going to mix it up and get involved. But I still like Whiteside in this game. Of course, Westbrook is always in play, just not for me because he's 12.2K and I'm not spending 20% of my salary on one player. I'm not doing it. I don't like him, especially since Miami is one of the better teams at guarding the perimeter. Now, we know he does a lot of his work driving to the basket, but you got to look at who he's driving to the basket to go face. He's driving to the basket to go face Hassan Whiteside. That takes Westbrook off of the table for me. This is an all-out fade. I'm not starting him anywhere. On the other hand, I do like Oladipo. The price has come down on him some. Now he's gonna see some Justice Winslow defense, which is pretty good. But I think he shoots the ball so well that he's gonna be able to make an impact in this game. So I do like Depot, and I don't like Dragic in this game either. I mean, there's too many great point guards that are playing at home to take a shot on Goran Dragic in this game. So moving on to the next game, it's going to be the New Orleans Hornets at the Golden State Warriors. This is a 224.5 point total with Golden State giving up 17. I don't want anything to do with that. The point total is too high, and the point total and the differential is just too much. Because if what this is saying is true, I'm not going to get a full 4 quarters of Anthony Davis, and that will be my first target on this game. But we know that it's early in the season, and Vegas is sometimes off until the more data they get, the further they get into the season, the more sharper the Vegas odds gets. But still, I mean, that minus 17 really scares me. So that's not a game that I'm going to be targeting. I may have some shares of a few Golden State players because, of course, if it's gonna be 224 points and it's gonna be a blowout 17-point game, that means we need to be having somebody on the Golden State side. The problem is picking who's that going to be. That's why I like Draymond Green. If I had to go anywhere for the Golden State side, it would definitely be Draymond Green. And you can kind of pick off of the bench who you think you like the most. We know Patrick McCaw is going to be out. Ian Clark's probably going to be the first guy off of the bench. You have Andre Iguodala as well. Now I kind of like the Golden State big in this game too. I think last time out he had a really good game. He should have been a late night hammer for a lot of cats, but I really do think that we can roster we can roster the Golden State Center tonight in this game. Now the next and we talked about just tell you about Anthony Davis. I don't like him. I'm fading Anthony Davis. I'm not playing him anywhere. I mean he can have one of those 80-point Anthony Davis games and I won't have a piece of him. I just don't like him. The point differential is too big for me to get into. So that's a game that I do not like. I'm gonna grab this name right quick for you. Yeah, because last time what did Josh do last time? Last time against the Lakers, he had a bad game. Zaza Pachulia, he only played 19 minutes and had 3 rebounds and 3 assists. So he's definitely due for a bounce back game. I like Zaza Pachulia at center for Golden State. The next, he's also a cheap play too. All right, and the last game on the slate is going to be the Detroit Pistons going to the Clippers. This is a 197.5 point total. We've got a -8.5 going in favor of the Detroit Pistons. They are getting 8.5 points. Of course, Chris Paul is definitely in play. He's going to see Ish Smith. He's going to destroy Ish Smith. The differential is not as big as it is in the Golden State game. So even though this may be a blowout, I still think we're going to get a lot of Chris Paul. We're going to get enough minutes from Chris Paul to where we can get the value that we're looking for. I like Blake Griffin in this game, of course. I would stay clear from DeAndre Jordan because Drummond is going to eat up all the rebounds. They're both rebounding freaks, and there's going to be a lot of missed shots in this game. So I think we can go Drummond. I really think you can go Drummond in this game. I'm going to have like underweight as far as, rostering Andre Drummond, but I do like him in this game. I do like him. As far as the perimeter for Detroit goes, Ish Smith, no, I don't like him against Chris Paul defense. KCP may be a good play going up against JJ Redick defense. And then we have Tobias Harris as well as Marcus Morris, who will probably be decent plays in this game. I think I would, if I had to choose between Marcus Morris and Tobias Harris, I would go Tobias Harris because he's actually a better shooter, a better pure shooter than he is. We may see some scrub love off of the bench. So you want to look, Maurice Spates sees a lot of minutes, and when he's on the floor, he scores. He's a really good point per minute player. You're also going to see the coach's son in this game some. And, of course, the first man off of their bench all the time is Jamal Crawford. So you want to look at Jamal Crawford as well. Now, if the game does get out of hand, you got to look at certain backups. And honestly, the Clippers are so active on the post, man, with Chris Paul assisting to Jordan and assisting to Blake Griffin, that you may see some foul trouble for Drummond. You may see foul trouble for Drummond. So I think that John Lure is going to be in play because he's very cheap, and the blowout factor is there too. He's going to see minutes in a blowout, as well as Baines. Baines may be a part of some scrub love for you too. So this has been the 7-game slate, and I'm going to tell you a little funny story real quick. We all know the other night I had a really good night on FanDuel, and I was speaking to a gentleman. I was on YouTube browsing, and I saw this show, and it looked entertaining, and it looked kind of funny, and so I click on the link, and I watched the show. 10 minutes in, I'm like, yo, this is a really good show, man. I'm gonna try to contact this dude, man. So I sent a message out to him. He calls me. We talked for a little while. And while we were talking, I was setting my FanDuel lineups, and we were just talking about, sports and DFS and stuff. So I'm setting my lineup while we're talking, and based on some of the things we talked about in the conversation, I go out and I have the best FanDuel showing I've ever had, and win second place in this the big GPP, and the checks in the mail. So guys, the guy. Turns out he does what I do. And I'm going to bring him on at some point, him and his co-host. I'm going to bring them on at some point because they're really sharp when it comes to FanDuel, and that's what we were talking about playing. And it's called the Sports Swirl 365 is the Twitter at Sports Swirl 365. Really good guy, Kyle and George, man, really cool guys. Got a chance to chop it up with them again this evening, so I am shouting them out on the show. All right, now we went over the Heat Check player tonight, the Who Dat player of the night, who was Nick Young, Swaggy P. The Heat Check player of the night, excuse me, was Emmanuel Mudiay, and Jaylen Brown was a snowflake of the night. We also recapped last night's games, talked about today's games, and like, subscribe, share, and I'm gonna tell you, we just got 1,000 subscribers, and I can't tell you, how much of a blessing it is to have such support. And I mean, I'm on the phone all day on Twitter, interacting, responding, kicking it with everybody, and it's a beautiful thing, man. And what we want to do, man, we want to make DFS safe for the average common Joe. I'm not gonna just tell you, every name, throw every name at you. I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing and my formula. And if you want to take that and develop your own strategy, more power to you. I'm just going to throw names out at you that I'm not even going to play. I mean, you have all the options that I have when you look at your DraftKings roster sheet. You know who's playing. But when we talk about real plays, how we're going to start lineups and build cores and try to win some money, that's what I'm here for. So I just want to thank you all again. This has been your DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Again, like, share, comment. If you would like to support the show, there is definitely a link. It is PC only on my YouTube channel. It says support show. If you didn't want to do that, you can send money directly to my PayPal. That is simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful Monday and a big Monday, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.